How's it going? In a couple of videos I've had over the last few weeks, I have talked about the fact that I've moved my mother into the house with me and how we're going through our periods of adjustment, and then I've left the topic and done some other things. Well, truthfully, during the time that my mother has been here, I have not been as productive as I normally am. I have been just way off. You're trying to get used to someone in your family who's living with you even though you grew up with her. I mean, I grew up with my mom, but the circumstances have drastically changed, and it's changing my life a lot. And then, out of nowhere last week, she had a heart attack. Luckily, everything came out okay, but now there was something else to start worrying about. So, like I said, I've been off my game, and I finally decided, you know what, I've got to figure out what to do. I've got to get myself going. And of all the weirdest things, it took a snowstorm to really get me going. Now, most of the time I work from home, so you would think that wouldn't have anything to do with it, but suddenly we're getting pounded by snow. I can't really leave the house, and suddenly I'm productive. So basically, in the last 2 days, I have written 7 or 8 different articles, and I did a video, and I'm doing this video tonight. And that's pretty productive for a couple of days. I'm usually just writing all the time, or I'm doing my marketing, and I even got my marketing in. So I've been really productive. Now here's the thing. Out of all the things I did, the one thing I did for my business blog, because I have 2 blogs that I make sure I keep up with every single week, at least 1 post a week. The post I wrote for my business blog does not feel like one of my best. I had a great idea going in, I started writing it, and then it just felt like it was lacking. And initially I said, well, geez, am I still going to put this out? And I said, yes, you know what? I'm going to put it out for 2 reasons. One, actually 3 reasons. One, because it had to go out. It was Wednesday, and I have, on that particular blog, I have a post that goes out every Wednesday morning. So I needed a post. Two, you never know what posts are going to take off. I have written some posts that I thought were great. I put a lot of work into it, or I had the idea, it was flowing really well, and no one reads them. And then I've had posts where I feel like they're just pretty weak and not all that strong. And next thing you know, everyone is reading it and commenting and saying different things. So you just never really know. But number 3 was the fact that I recognize that everything I do is not going to be top notch. Not that I'm not trying to be top notch, but every once in a while there's just something that, it doesn't feel like it's your best work. You gave it the effort, you put in the time, and it just doesn't feel right. But you still do it. And you have to kind of forgive yourself for it, and you have to, say, hey, you know what, this might be better than I think. You never know. There are a lot of musicians who have had hit songs that they thought stunk at the time they recorded them, but they had to put them on the album anyway, and they put them out there, and someone released it. Song goes to #1, and they're like, wow, really, that piece of garbage? But it happens. And, I thought about this because in business, in offices, in life, every once in a while, you come across those people who are doing their best, and it may not be the best. Or they may do something that you say, wow, this is pretty good, and they are upset because they're saying, nah, it doesn't feel really good. And now you're the one who's telling them, well, actually, this is pretty good. I am not sure what you're seeing, but I see greatness. And, it's just one of these realities where, what, we're not always on. We don't always feel like we've put out the best. And sometimes we may not put out the best. We try the best we can. So we need to be forgiving of ourselves, and sometimes we need to be forgiving of others in the work that they put out. Sometimes we just have those days where it just doesn't come together for us. Heck, one day last week, after we came home with my mother, here I am putting pills in the pill case for the week, and I totally messed it up because they gave her new pills, took away some pills that she'd been taking, and I'm reading everything, and at one point I got a little confused, and I doubled a couple of the pills. Thank goodness the next morning my wife looked at it and said, hey, are you sure these are right? And I looked at it and said, oh goodness, where was my mind? sometimes we're just not there. I mean, I filled up the pill case the same day I brought mom back home, so my mind was on something a little different. If it hadn't been for the fact that that was a normal day I had to do pills, I probably would have waited till the next day, but you know, it happens. And that, well, for one day that wouldn't have been so bad, but had I gone on doing that for the entire week, like I did, you know, I put them all in for the week, that could have been pretty bad. So, you know what? We have to get into that position where we know we gave our best, or we hope we gave our best. We tried. It might not be perfect. It might not be great. You know, my dad used to say, it's good enough for government work. Sometimes it's just how we have to look at it. Kind of like when I do these videos sometimes. You know what? It's good enough for government work. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Are you forgiving of yourself when you put out stuff on a date and you just don't really feel it? You don't feel it's great work? Are you forgiving of others who either didn't put out their best on a day and you know they're better than that, or you tell them, hey, this is really pretty good when they think it's lacking? Let me know your thoughts. I'm Mitch Mitchell. I hope y'all have a wonderful week.